Hey, we back at it with another episode charged with motivation, positive vibration, and elevation. We back at it with Motivational Shit podcast, man. Let's get it. Hey, what's going on? What's popping, everybody? What's popping, man?
Oh, man, feeling good on this good Sunday, man. Got good energy flowing, man.
Yeah, man. We got good energy, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the vibe, man. Yale Radio Cast, Motivational Shit Podcast. Subscribe to the vibe of Director Huey G, Made Solid TV, Light Worker Wayne, man. Hey.
Man, I'm on a fast, man.
A fast?
I'm fasting, man. So don't talk about food too much on the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
We can't. That's all good. Yeah, I'll be all right.
Okay. Because yo, you choose the wrong day to go on a fast today, man, because everything we gonna talk about today is food. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, for all my people that's just getting out of church, for all my people that's still in the church, from all that people, for all my people that's just sitting at home still waking up, this episode gonna make you hungry. This episode gonna make you hungry, man, because we got a guest here today, man. We got a brilliant Milladin King here, man. My homie, good brother, my homie Gino put me on to him, man.
Shout out to Gino, man.
Hey, shouts out to Gino, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all tap into that episode. Are we our own enemies? But that's another conversation.
Because that's alien.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yo, with no further ado, man, I want to introduce to y'all, this is a gardener. He is a techie. This is a brilliant brother that's about growing food. And here on Motivational Shit Podcast, man, we're going to be growing food in our own Garden of Eden. So with no further ado, man, let's introduce Peace.
Appreciate it. Hey, what's good, man? What's good, man? Definitely appreciate the lengthy introduction, man. It feels good to have yourself introduced like that, man. Especially by, young kings themselves, man. So I appreciate that, man. Definitely appreciate y'all having me on the podcast. And we definitely gonna do a lot of talking today, man, about food, my brother. Definitely about the food.
Yeah, man, about food, bro. So, yo, man, man, I just want to say, bro, we haven't had too much gardeners, on the episode, man.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to have you here, man, because gardening is something that our people, our ancestors, been doing. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Been doing.
Yeah. A lot of us grew up in families where grandma was out there gardening.
Yeah.
And it's like, we saw that growing up, but we ain't really pick it up.
Yeah, and we privileged here in the South because it's deeply rooted here in the South. Like we're super privileged in the South in general, but in particularly Atlanta, where everything black. Lawyers and doctors and police and gardeners and scientists and everything, mathematicians. Like we just privileged here in Atlanta. And like, I didn't realize that until I started researching and looking outside of Atlanta. And I'm like, damn, like we really have it special here to be surrounded by these many black successful people, and successful meaning whatever it means to each individual. But for me, like I said, just to see those lawyers and doctors and gardeners and mathematicians and scientists and just different things. But it's one of the things that I didn't tap into until most recently, within the last, like, I guess you could say like 5-6 years as far as gardening. But as I think back, that's laid the foundation in order for me to get into the gardening. So it's just been a great journey.
Yo, I want to say quick shouts out to April Showers. Hello there.
Hey, hello, April.
Yes.
Oh, this is live.
and super
Yeah, yeah.
and super.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this was live. Oh, what's up, everybody? I didn't know this.
Hey,
By the way,
hey, what's up?
I forgot as the producer to tell you that the show is live, bro.
Okay, okay. Nah, I appreciate
I
that.
usually do my whole rundown. We're gonna go into this, and then we're gonna start out with some music and get comfortable. Do you need water? I forgot to tell them about the live part.
Oh yeah, so this is live. So nah, I
Don't get no
appreciate
water
that.
either.
I'm good. But nah, I appreciate that, man. But yeah, man, I can go ahead and kind of jump into like just my story a little bit if
what's
y'all
your
want to.
journey, man? Like, who influenced you first?
So, my grandma first and foremost, she passed in 2016. Y'all can see her right here. People at home, y'all not able to see it, but this is my grandma. She passed away in 2016. She's been my whole motivation for pretty much everything in life, for the most part, since birth. So I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, from the West Side. So from Bankhead to Perry Homes to Sylvan Road to Campbellton Road, I went to Douglas High School off of H.E. Holmes. And that's kind of from middle school to high school. That was my introduction into, which I know you spoke about what we'll talk about too, my technology side.
Yeah.
So growing up, just pretty much coming into the technology age where we're getting into cell phones, we're texting with Metro PCS. I'm sure everybody know about Metro PCS. So like now we're on the phones more than we ever been, because before that we only on the phone at home. No caller ID, call away, and that type of ordeal. But that's what got me into the technology. So that's what prompted me to go to Doug. It was either between my zone school was there. If you're from Atlanta, you know why I didn't go there. So I don't got to speak on that. But it was Doug amazing. So Doug was engineering and applied technology. So like it was a no-brainer for me. And thankful to my counselors then, because they're the ones that instilled in me to pretty much apply for different magnet programs, or even be aware about magnet programs. Because my grandma, she wasn't, my grandma raised me. So my mom was battling her addictions in the street. So my grandma raised me since I was about 2 years old. Don't have any idea of a dad. So no clue about a dad and play at all. So with that being said, my grandma, I say that to say my grandma wasn't that intelligent. I think she may have had a 6th grade education, so she wasn't able to read or write, which I thought was normalized. So I thought everybody grandparents couldn't read or write, mainly due to the educational system of them starting our story off with slavery. So I just assumed this was a thing that Black people couldn't read and write, just because you hear it so much in our community. And so from there, that's what prompted me, like I said, again, to get into the technology, to go to Doug and kind of just start my journey there to get into technology. So that's essentially my day job. As far as what I do for a day job is engineering and pretty much, I guess you say, like coding side. So that's my day job, technology. And big shout outs to my brother over at Trust Tech Computers. We've been having this business 6445 Tar Boulevard. Make sure y'all come over there, and whatever needs you need as far as technology wise. So that's computers, that's phones, that's tablets. You need it fixed, you need to buy a new one, whatever it needs. So make sure y'all tapping in with us over there. And so to fast forward the story, and I'll kind of double back on the technology side. And if y'all got any questions, y'all can just kind of chime in whenever. Sure. That's so to fast forward the story into the food. So my grandma had diabetes, which, typically.
Your said I'm on, cuz.
Appreciate it. Who was, I ain't see who it was.
Hey, Glow, what's her name?
Appreciate whoever that was. So my grandma, she had diabetes.
Denisha Glow. Denisha Glow.
Right.
What's going on, Denisha?
Hey, now.
Oh, what's up? So my grandma had diabetes. So from her having diabetes, which I'm sure we've all heard, she had to get the bottom half of her leg amputated. So from that, she ended up having an accident where she fell and she cracked her head. So that's why she passed away. Now, me being a realist, I guess you could say, I know the real reason for her passing is diabetes. And I know a lot of people may say like, oh, she fell, that's why she passed. And that's true. Two things can be true. She did fall, but she passed because she didn't have a leg due to diabetes. And so like, that's what prompted me. I skipped part of the story, but that's what prompted me to kind of look further more into what I'm eating. So before that, I stopped eating beef and pork in 10th grade, which everybody looked at me crazy. Like, bro, what? Like, I learned something in health class. I was privileged enough to come home, go to Adams Park Library on Camerton Road, and just start researching. We had computers at this time, so researching on the computer, researching books. And I'm like, hell nah. Like, this is what's going on with our bodies when we eat this food, how long it take to digest, and just learning so much information. So I went home, told my grandma, I'm like, yeah, I'm not eating beef and pork no more. She like, boy, I don't know what you're gonna eat then. Like, I'm still cooking pork chops and hog mugs and cube steak and everything. But of course, she accommodated my eating habits. So that transpired me to already go on a journey of learning what I'm eating. And I wasn't on it this early, but I started to realize, I'm like, damn, like we just pass around these phrases of what runs in our family. And like at this point, I don't know, but like to fast forward, the more I started doing research, I'm like, damn, I'm like, none of this stuff really runs in our family. We just keep passing that phrase down. And I'm like, we're having the same eating habits. That's what's causing these same diseases in our family. So like genetically speaking, diabetes doesn't run in my family. High blood pressure don't run in my family. Like all of these different things that we have that we say run in our family, it doesn't. It's just we're eating and consuming the same foods over and over and over again. And the more I started to do genealogy and look up how people were dying, why they were dying in my family, it just started to kind of piece together for me. So that's what led me on my journey of starting a plant-based eating habits as well. So like not only do I garden, I started gardening because I had a plant-based eating habits and I just wanted to grow my own food. And this is like right before the pandemic, and the pandemic just lit a fire on me. I'm like, damn, I know what's going on with the food in the grocery store. Now they kind of dictating when I can go to the grocery store. And of course, now at this point, everybody just going and buying everything from the grocery store. So I'm like, man, I got to figure out how to garden. And what day and age we live in? We live in a digital age. So I'm like, man, let me hit my phone. Let me start grabbing these books. And I just start grabbing books and using the internet and just trial and error and going outside, starting my gardening bed. So to kind of speak to some tips on when you start in the garden process, the first thing that you want to do is think about what you eat. What do I eat? That's the first thing, because one of my homies, Chaz, we just was talking on the phone and we were talking about doing the good thing versus the right thing. And sometimes those things can get misconstrued because, so to give you an example with the food is, I just want to garden. That's a good thing. Like nobody's going to tell you like that's a bad thing, but the right thing is I need to garden with the food that I'm actually going to eat. I don't just want to be out there essentially like playing. I want to grow food that I'm actually going to eat. So that's the first thing that you want to do. You want to figure out what food that you want to grow or what food you actually eat. The second thing is if I'm saying the website, it's usda.ars.gov. That's going to be your garden zone. So you learn what garden zone you in. Your garden zone tells you what grows in your garden zone at what time of the year. So that'll help you. Okay, you got the list of the food that you want to grow. Now you compare it to what's on the garden zone, and now you know exactly what to grow. So you've already done 2 steps that most people never start because they just have a conditioning mindset of I can't. So like I don't even use the word can't anymore. I don't use the word try anymore. And I teach my children that they're not using it either because we're doers. We don't try anything, and we can't do anything. We do everything. So with that being said, those are the first 2 things. And then what's next is learning about the soil. You got to determine if you want to use a raised garden bed or a garden bed on the ground. Now for me, I do both. I do like the raised beds a little more just because I'm always proactive to what can happen or what's going on in the future. So when I was on the ground, on the bed, in the garden beds, like I don't have any back issues, but I could tell like, okay, this can cause back issues if I just continue to have a bad posture leaning over kind of, with the fruits and vegetables and stuff. But those are kind of, one of the first things that you want to do as far as starting a garden. Like I said, you want to figure out what you're eating, what you're growing. So the first things that people typically want to start out with, which is not a bad thing, is herbs. So your rosemary, your basil, your mint, your oregano. So like those are some of the things that you can start off with that pretty much they're easy to grow. You can start growing those things. So for me, to kind of narrow down what got me into gardening is obviously I wanted my own food, having a plant-based eating habits. 2, family. I got a daughter and I got a son. And I'm like, okay, we want to make sure that they continue on a plant-based eating habits, and we want to be able to grow our own food. And I want to teach them how to grow their own food too, because I've been on this journey of self-sufficiency, and with the internet, I've been able to share it with the world. And for me, I specifically use the internet for marketing and sharing what I'm going to do anyway. I'm going to go to the gym anyway, so I share it. I'm going to be in my garden anyway, so I share it. I'm going to be learning about, finances, so I share it, because the internet is a free platform for us to just share information that we want to share. But that pretty much kind of summarizes the reason for me getting into garden and starting a garden. Is pretty much, like I said, family, and then the research that I did on my own personal family to learn that, like, man, none of this shit is genetically in my family. It's due to the eating habits that we have. So transitioning over to plant-based eating habits, which is funny because people typically think you just eating salads. Like, that's what they always ask. Oh, bro, you eat salads. You eat salads all day. And it's funny because me and my family don't even eat salad. Like, we haven't ate salads in like 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Because, like, I typically tell people say, so what do you eat? Where you get your protein from? That's the two questions. Where do you eat? What you get your protein from? And I typically tell people I eat the same food you eat. So whatever it is you eating pasta, you eating pizza, you eating burgers, like whatever it is, I just use plants to make whatever it is that you eating. And the main thing is, I tell people, when you buy your food, your meat, you wash it and you season it. So that's what I'm doing with my vegetables. I wash it and I season it with the same seasoning you're using for the meat. Now, I'm not a fan of when people say it tastes the same, because it don't got the same texture. So you have to get your taste buds up to speed to, this not going to taste like chicken. Because people typically say, oh, this tastes like chicken, or this tastes like beef, or this tastes like pork. And that may be their own opinion. But for me, I'm not looking for the food that tastes like a replacement for the meat. I'm looking for it to taste like what it is, which is a plant. So you just have to get your mind acclimated to like what is actually going to taste and be the texturized, be like, pretty much for the most part.
For sure. Somebody tapped in. Truth LLC said, yo.
Truth LLC.
Truth LLC, what's up? What's up?
Definitely shouts out to Truth. I need to make an announcement. To everybody from the South. It's time to let go of the chitlins. It's time to let go of the chitlins. Everything what this brother and everything what this brother has said, I heard
Beef.
pork and beef, right? Correct.
Yeah.
Does raise high blood pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's
like guaranteed.
Yeah,
that's one of them things that's guaranteed. And it's just, everybody's on their own journey. So you want to eat what you decide that you want to eat at whatever pace or however how much. I know people typically say just all the things that I hear that are funny to me, but I don't judge people. They say, oh, I'm just like you, man, but I eat beef or pork like twice a week or something like that. And it's like, people typically say that to like appease me, and I'm like, do what you do. Like that's your journey, and your journey is eating it. You don't have to say I'm almost there or like I'm vegan too, but just be at your own journey. Like you don't have to be the same.
I think she laughing at you, Wayne.
I know. I know, man. She laughing at
I think she agrees.
yeah. It's really time, because from when I remember as a child, chitlins really just kind of taste like hot piss. A lot of seasoning.
See, I never even I never tasted chitlin, because so my grandma raised me, so it was mainly and that's the other thing too. My experience is completely different from people who were growing up primarily on fast food, like in my community, because my grandma was cooking it. And it's funny because being young, I guess it's called selfish. Like my grandma will always be asking, like, do anybody else want something to eat? And I'm like, that's taken away from my leftovers, bro. Like, nah, like, you know what I'm saying? So like all my homies want to come over and eat. I guess that's called selfish, but like at some point I'm like, nah, bro, like y'all kind of like taking advantage of it now, because like, obviously they know like, oh yeah, bro, grandma gonna be cooking like after school or like whenever. So they like, oh yeah, bro, I'm coming to your crib. I'm like, nah, bro. Like,
nah, bro.
Nah, I'm going home by myself. But no, man, just to speak to the technology part, man, like my love for technology, it has grown over the years. So learning, that's why I said definitely big shout out to my brother Hassan over at Trust Tech Computers, man. He's someone who already was familiar with the software and hardware aspect in terms of like the collegiate level, but hands-on level, man, this brother kind of took me under his wing and kind of explained and showed me like the ins and out of more along the lines of software, but hardware the most. So learning how to fix the phones, the computers, taking everything apart from I was doing it by myself, but not on a business level, because if I break my stuff, nothing happens. You know what I'm saying? But if I break a customer thing, it's like, damn, now we got to replace a whole iPhone or a whole computer or a whole monitor or a whole video game system. So it's like, it's different when you're learning from a professional side and a personal side, because you're responsible for somebody else's product.
Do you fix screens?
Screens.
iPad, like
iPad screens, computer screens, phone screens, tablet screens, and like I said, pretty much everything technology, anything with a cord on it, like we can check it out and see what's going on with it.
And the second part was, can people like join your company who trying to get into tech, or who are into tech, or can they reach out to you, or do you know help people who trying to get into tech?
Yeah, like for sure. I've had family members. We've had people like come in the shop who we've put on and shown them, and some people to even go on and do their own thing, because that's essentially what we want. Like, we're gonna be here, and there's friendly competition, but there's no competition where it's like, oh no, I'm not gonna share this information because you might get some of the money that I'm supposed to be getting, because there's enough money out here in the world. And I always think in terms of how many. I always do this, and I always tell people to do this. I'm like, look at how many people in your city. How many, so it's like, it just, when you change your mindset to think outside of, I guess, what we call a box, you start to realize, like, I'm putting these own kind of mental blocks on what I can do. And it's like, there's enough money for everybody to make. And even if you realize, like, all of this stuff is on the internet as far as data. So if you look up like, all right, it's this many people in this area, boom, I can go over here in this area and make, I don't got to go into that area. So it's like, it's just different ways that you can kind of tap in and make money, because there's enough money for everybody to make it. Even with this, like, people say, this is saturated, this is saturated, this is saturated. And again, two things can be true, because it's like, okay, if it is saturated, that means you need to do something extra to set yourself apart. You don't quit or you don't stop doing it. You just figure out a way to maneuver around it. And then the other part is, it may not be saturated. You may be putting that in your own mind, because that's what you're paying attention to. And a lot of the time, that's what I realized too. Like, for me, I've curated my internet to be what I want to see. So I blocked a lot of pages. I've unfollowed a lot of pages, because I want to dictate what I see when I go on the internet. And I do that in my own personal life. Like, I want to dictate the name of the podcast. I want to dictate, okay, I want to go and see motivational. I want to see positivity. I just made a post the other day that said, for 24 hours, it was something along the lines of like, can you not say something negative, like, or pay attention to how many negative thoughts you have a day. And I did it myself like a couple of times, and I'm like, damn, like, why am I even? And I realized, like, consumption. That's the number one thing. Whatever you're consuming, that's what thoughts you're having. So like, I just changed everything from the music to what I watch, even to what I read, and to even what I tell my friends. Because I tell a lot of my friends, I'm like, bro, don't even send me nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? And it's that good versus right thing again, because some of the stuff they're sending me is good content, but I'm like, bro, it's going to take up, like, now I'm on something that's not bad. Like, okay, this dude talking about how to get some money. So like, that's not a bad thing. But now I'm on his page for like 5, 10, 20 minutes. And it's like, it's a good thing, but it's just like, now I just technically not wasting my time, but that's not the right thing that I wanted to be doing. So like, at that time, it's not productive time. Yeah, it's not productive. Well, it is productive, but it's not the right productivity for me. So it's like, just kind of keeping that in mind as well. To tap in a lot on, so what I brought today is, I got an organic gardening book that you can get. Just click the link in my bio. It kind of explains the tips and the process of getting into gardening. I'm always available on my Instagram at Peace Akuna and at Gardening with Peace for any questions that anybody got. And if I don't know the answers, I'm going to tell you I don't know, because I don't know everything. I'm still learning, and I still have a lot of people reach out to me, which is funny, because they'll reach out and they'll say, you don't know this? And I'm like, nope. And I know they're saying it in a condescending way, but I control my emotions, so I don't let stuff like that bother me. So I'm like, I'm not really bothered that you're being funny or you're being like facetious, but no, I don't know this. And thank you for telling me. And like, now I can look it up, because I don't know everything, and I still won't know everything. Even when I think I know everything, I still won't know. So like, that's just one of the things that that I tell people. And to shift gears a little bit, to talk. Bro. Go ahead.
I had
two things. Okay, so that means no. That means no. I that means no IG models on your page.
Let me think. Let me think now. I don't want to lie to the people. So
What's up?
no, no, no,
What's
no.
up?
I'm about to tell you. I'm about to tell you. So I do have friends who are, I guess, considered in that realm. So I do follow them.
Yeah.
Because they show support. And they got a lot of eyes as well on their page. So like they do show support. So yes, in terms of I do have friends, but
Curves are motivational, Wayne. What you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't think and I mean, not to go too far on that, but like me and my homie was talking and I stopped doing that because in terms of my lady and what I'm seeing, I started lusting after, you know what I'm saying, these perfect people. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
I feel that.
Yeah. But
now for my second question. Huey has an old Sega Genesis, man. So we brought the Sega Genesis to you. You could fix it up and all that because, hey, man, I'm trying to play Sonic, and I'm trying to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles again, man, because that was like the best Sonic game ever, man.
So Nintendo top of that.
So I got a couple of answers for that. One, I would just say, just get whatever new they got going on. And two, I would say for sentimental value purposes, I would just pretty much ask like what's going on with it, what's wrong to see like if it can be fixed because that's such an old product. They probably don't sell the parts anymore if it do need a part replacement.
I got you.
That's kind of the thing with a lot of old devices because people do want to hold on to old devices for sentimental value or just to play it because I got my old Super Nintendo that I still play. And I'm just hot to buy something new because it's not in 1080p. It's like it's super blurry. Like when I play it because it's so old. Whatever. I think the RC is the old hookup that used to be for the old devices. But yeah, it's super blurry. Like super blurry. So it's not even really worth playing it because your eyesight gonna get worse from just looking at the screen and like it being blocks. You know how the old school the blocks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I do have to unblock Wayne though from IG because like he's a little too motivational for me sometimes.
Who?
Sometimes Wayne. So sometimes I want to be on my talking stuff, but he
too motivated
to wake up and like you know what I'm saying. Like sometimes I don't feel like being motivated. I just want to be in my little depressed mood.
Yeah.
Wayne, so I block him once a week.
I feel you. You definitely got it, and it's intentional.
Yeah.
And that's what I do, man. I make sure I'm intentional about everything. Was you about to say something? I was about to just switch gears to another kind of quick subject that kind of prompted me into the gardening as well. Is
okay, go ahead, brother. Yeah,
Black history. So I got another business and company. And if anybody got any questions, of course, y'all can let me know if they got any questions over there. And if you got any questions too, bro, I don't know if they mind you chiming in. If you got any questions, but another company, Black history is everywhere. So to give y'all the premises of where that stem from, and I got something for y'all too from the brand or whatever. But
okay, hey, come on.
So we got the hats. I've been black. Let me talk about the brand first.
Okay,
so the brand stems from one, like I said, being from Atlanta and realizing like, damn, like it's a lot of melanin here. It's a lot of positivity here, and like just having that as the stepping stone or to be able to stand on shoulders. So that. On top of me traveling the world, I started traveling the world. So Australia and Germany and Puerto Rico and just Mexico and just different type of places. And I'm realizing like, damn, the Aboriginal people here is Black people. And like, that's not nothing that's shown to us for whatever reason. And I'm not complaining about that because I mean, that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like me going and learning. I'm like, okay, I can start sharing with people that Black history is everywhere. And that's literally like just where the name of the brand came from, that like Black history is everywhere. And so I just started tapping into a lot of history. So what catapulted me doing that is Malcolm X being one of the first books that kind of got me into just thinking about like what Malcolm X did for me is it showed me growth. Mm-hmm. It showed me a hint of history. It showed me a hint of family too. So like that was like what catapulted me into getting into the history part. So the history part started me just turning into like the family genealogy part, which started me, again, looking up my family, learning the eating habits, which, like I said, corresponded to the gardening part, and just pretty much learning about different stuff in terms of history and how it worked and what's already been done. And for us and for what I talk about, to not do the same things over and over again because it didn't work. We already know what happened from, this going on in history pretty much. So We got the I've been black hats, pretty much that correlates to us being black
Mm.
in the world, but mainly here in America. So it's just a sense of being unapologetically black. Like I've been black,
course,
not just
of
in
course.
Black History Month,
Right.
not just for Juneteenth, but I've been black. I'm living black every day. And pretty much just pretty much just being black. And then
Go ahead. You do.
oh, we got the Black History is Everywhere shirts, the Black and Proud shirts, pretty much just a sense of black pride, pretty much for the most part. And that's blackhistorieseverywhere.com. We revamping the website because we got some sweatsuits coming soon. But that's pretty much to correlate with that. I got a lot of different stuff. So I got the genealogy ebook to help people
Right.
get their family history going on. I personally don't want to give my DNA to a company to have them tell me that. I think they tell everybody from like Africa or Irish or wherever they tell people from, like the percentages. So I just started on the ground level and going to the archives and like just asking family members like, hey, where we from? And it also made me stop ignorantly saying that I'm the first person in my family to graduate high school. I'm the first person in my family to graduate college, because when I looked it up, I'm like, damn, I stand on the shoulders of people who already been great.
Mm-hmm.
And that's people who've been
Of course.
working on the railroads, people who don't went to the army. That's entrepreneurs, people who like one of my great uncles, he started the GBI here in Atlanta. He helped start Georgia State Police Department for the school. So like just
Right.
learning about that type of stuff for me, I'm like, damn, I'm like, it gave me a sense of pride. And I think I learned this at probably like maybe like 30 years old. So I'm like, damn, like the sense of pride I get, I know if I start teaching my children more about our family, their own family, they'll have a better sense of pride instead of going to school and learning about people that they'll never meet.
Exactly.
Even some of our great people that we value, I'm like, I don't want my children learning about them first. They need to learn about their dad first. They need to learn about their great uncle, their great aunties on both sides. And I'm like, to be able to learn that at such a young age, you have a sense of pride because you're like, yeah, me and my family, you know what I'm saying? Just, and not even from a financial standpoint, but just to understand that, like, okay, my family already been entrepreneurs. My family already been gardeners. So like we already been taking care of ourselves, being self-sufficient. So like that's a different feeling when you walking around having that feeling versus somebody telling you like, oh yeah, the slavery story. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of the first things, because I didn't like our children don't go to I guess school. We homeschool them. So like I didn't know that, like, and obviously I'm so removed from school, I didn't know what they were teaching them, but just to learn again that like they're teaching it as early as like preschool. I'm like, damn. Like, and it just comes from Black History Month. They like to like put it all like together. So when I started learning, like, damn, they already telling children about slavery in preschool. I'm like, damn. Like, and it's not probably like not intentionally to mess with their psyche, to bring their psyche down. But I'm like, that's tough to start learning that story before. And I don't know people's situation, but I'm like, before you even learn about your family, you already learning about like people being slaves who look like you. So I'm like, man, but not y'all could definitely tap in with the genealogy again.
Sure,
I got the
sure.
ebooks for everybody, but I'm open to answer any questions that anybody have.
I got a question for you too.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about medicinal herbs?
What type of medicinal herbs?
medical herbs. She put.
So I don't know too much in terms of this associates with this, if that makes sense. Like take this to get rid of I guess I don't know any cures. I don't know anything that I can only talk about things that help. So burdock root, elderberry,
Okay.
Oregano oil, mint, basil. So a lot of these things help with your digestive system, and they help rid the body of mucus. I haven't studied to start to talk more along the lines of, again, this is going to help you with this. That's not my forte. So I wouldn't be able to directly answer your question about speaking more to the medicinal side of the plants. That's not my lane. Not yet. I do get a lot of those questions, and because I'm in this space, people do want me to know about that. So I don't mind doing the research so I can be knowledgeable about it. And as I said before, again, I'm super comfortable saying I don't know, and I don't like I say I don't know much about that.
You know, yo, I want to chime in, man, because you know what's motivational about you, piece, is one, the honesty.
Yeah,
you know, admitting that, hey, you know, I don't know this. Hey, I'm still a student,
Still a student.
and learning. Also, another thing that's motivational about you is that just 10th grade, you decided to let go of beef and pork. I mean, you used the internet, you looked it up, and you made a grown up decision. You know what I'm saying? And that's motivational. It's motivational what you're doing as far as with the gardening,
I appreciate that, man.
teaching people. And that, what you said when we begin this whole podcast about, finding out what type of soil, what plants you're actually going to use and eat. That is key. You know what I'm saying? That is key, because a lot of times, man, I go to the farmer's market, I buy a lot of stuff, and I end up only using it a fraction of it.
Yeah.
And I'm only using a fraction of it, man. So, hey, brother, you know what I'm saying? That's, so far, man, that's the piece that I find that's very motivational, man. Huey, man, yo, brother. Any pieces that you found that was like motivational that really stuck with you so far, bro?
As far as what?
Just as far as everything Peace is doing.
Oh yeah, I thought you said pieces. I said pieces.
He's still thinking about food.
No, it's interesting that you on both sides. Some people tech and they just stay tech. Some people garden, they just stay gardening. But you got like the best of both worlds, like gardening and tech. So I think that's like powerful.
Yeah, and to speak to what both of y'all said, appreciate it, man. Thank y'all.
Yeah,
and to speak to that, everything wasn't intentional, but I make it intentional after I figure out like, okay, this is a thing. Because even me going and talking to, I've done career programs at school, and what I realize is a lot of the students, they're comfortable asking me questions that are like that I find funny, because they be asking me like hood questions. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm like, okay, they see I look like them. I'm not even able to think of too many off the top of my head, but like they just be asking like just funny questions. But I know that they're comfortable asking me that because I look like them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so whether it's the tattoos, whether it's my locks, whether it's like whatever it is, whether it's the way I'm speaking to them, it's just like they feel comfortable asking me while I'm speaking and afterwards. Like they come up to me and I could tell because I'm peeping the room and I'm like, damn, they ain't gonna ask none of these niggas with suits on. And no knock to them, but I'm like, they not even saying nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? Like they coming up to me asking me questions, and like you said, I'm able to speak to both sides. I'm able to say like, I didn't have a dad raised me. My mom was battling her addictions in the streets, and my grandma raised me. So like they hearing that, so like that's one piece of the story. And the main thing that I tell them is you control you, man. And I tell that's if nobody get anything else from this interview, that's the main thing that I want to tell everybody, from children to adults. You control you, especially in our community. We got a trauma bonding going on, and that's been going on since forever. And we got a lot of the blame game going on. And for me,
we do.
Once I started to understand, like, damn, like, and I went through it like 24. I mean, maybe probably like from 20 to 24 is when I kind of went through my journey of, damn, bro, like, two things can be true. Your situation is your situation due to like the adults that was around you, but like you control you. So like even what you say with the 10th grade thing, man, I'm not able to explain that. Only thing I always say is that is my grandma. My grandma gave me a lot of discipline. So like that's the only thing I attribute that to. But like,
got you.
I don't know. I just did it. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been a cold turkey person. So like to go home and do a cold turkey, because like it took a while for her to even, oh, he's serious. Like he's serious. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because I came home and said it, and she like, okay. I'm gonna still cook it, whatever. And like when she realized I was serious, she like, oh damn, like he's serious. Like let me make sure to accommodate his eating habits. But like I don't know where that came from as far as like the discipline to just cold turkey stuff. But I've always been able to do that, and to even thinking about it in real time, and I like that prompted that was already my you control you, you know what I'm saying, moment. But like it took me a while to kind of realize, like, because I was blaming, like, so in college I flunked out one semester and I was blaming not having no money, not having no dad, not having a mom, not a lot of these different things. So essentially being homeless. I know everybody got their homeless story, so I got one homeless story too. I'm sleeping on my homeboys them couch for the whole semester that I'm not in school, and I pretty much flunked out because even though I was in school, I kind of was in the a point where my mind wasn't there. So even though I was enrolled in school and had classes, I wasn't going to class. I was, doing whatever I was doing in school or whatever, but I was blaming everybody.
Right.
Everybody. Like I said, my mom
No
not having no
accountability.
money. Yeah, like no accountability for self. And it's
sure.
like, two things can be true. All of those things I was saying was true, but it still didn't take into account the accountability to be like, you control you, bro. Like, what you gonna do now? And so like, I call them defining moments. That's one of the defining moments in my life of me, not 100%, but me just kind of changing that mindset of, bro, you control you. So like, what you gonna do now? Like, and I'm thankful for my grandma because a lot of things that I do in life, I attribute to my grandma understanding, but also, I guess I would say trusting me, because I went home and I told my grandma. So after being homeless, I was like, I don't have to be homeless. I was like, I can go back to my grandma crib. So like after being homeless, I go back to my grandma crib and I talk to her and I'm like, hey, I've been so focused on what I got going on in terms of what I'm not having and playing the blame game, but also helping to take care of, my mom and my grandma financially, emotionally. And I told her, I was honest with her, and I was like, I don't really want to do that no more in terms of like, I'm taking away from me. And if y'all pass away or I lose access to y'all today, or in general, if I need y'all, it's nothing y'all can do for me financially. It's nothing y'all can do for me mentally, spiritually. It's like, it's no way for y'all to really help me in terms of succeeding in life. So I got to figure out what I need to do for self, and I got to start controlling my own lifestyle. And that means I'm not able to help you out with the bread how I want to help you out with the bread. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have it like that. I've only been doing it because I've been doing it and it's been stressing me out, you know what I'm saying, to do it. So like my grandma basically, I guess you can say, gave me the blessings of like, yeah, like you do need to focus on you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to always be here. And, I do appreciate your help, but you don't have to. And so like once it's almost like one of them things, like for me, I always had a mindset of not really caring about what people think too much, but her. So like once she gave me that was it. I'm like, you control you. And it don't really matter what nobody else got going on or what nobody say. And I just kind of been able to kind of just stay on the right path of just learning and growing, man, every single day.
Yeah, I feel like what you said, trauma can either take you one way or another. Like for you could be like, well, shit, mama not here, no daddy, I'm just gonna be in the streets forever. Do this, do that. Or you can be like, you know what, I had this going on, so now I'm about to go this way and do right. So a lot of people, some people take their trauma and just.
And I did it for a long time. That's why I tell people, like, you play the blame game for a long time, man. Until you take that accountability and be like, damn, like that. And like I said again, like the thing that I think people struggle, which I struggle with, is what I was saying was true. So that's the part that you kind of be like, this is true. So you just kind of stop there. You don't take no accountability to figure out like, okay, this is true. Again, what I need to do to kind of maneuver around this, like, because things are true. Like we talked about earlier with business, like, okay, if I do believe, whether it's true or not, if I do believe this area is saturated and I still want to do it, I need to figure out how to set myself apart then. Or I need to figure out something else to do or move away in a different lane. So it's like what you do with the true information, that's what kind of sets you apart. And that's what set people apart. And that's why this podcast is going to be great too. Because like, even if people think that this is a saturated market, y'all doing something to set yourself apart. And that's really what you got to do, because you don't really got to worry about nobody else and you control you. And that's the main thing that you need to focus on, which is why I was talking about earlier when you asked me, I'm still thinking about the Instagram models, but like when you asking about that, it's like you're curating like whatever it is that you want to pay attention to. And like that really determines like where you go in terms of like life. And that's manifesting, writing stuff down and make sure you're curating what type of positive energy that you want to, get or not get. Cause like bro said, like sometimes you may not want to hear some motivational shit. So you might not tune into the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Or you may not want to follow bro page. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. There's a hot comment following actually behind what
shout
you were
out
just
to my
saying.
boy Rasan James, man. Appreciate you tapping in. Seek balance, find truth, for thief love through wisdom, see through phone wisdom through the sermon, and gang love.
Hey, all right. See through wisdom.
Okay. That's summary.
I appreciate that.
See through wisdom.
Those with wings fly to your dreams.
Exactly, man.
Nah, sure,
Those with wings fly to your dreams.
I think he was just rapping when he wrote that.
Okay.
Yeah.
He get some bars off.
He was thinking about food he can't read right now.
My stomach dry.
Also, bro, if you don't mind speaking to that, bro, you're fasting. Like why, who, what kind?
Okay. I got periods where I eat good, do good, and sometimes I just because of the time I'm just eating bad at, so I'm have to detox it out. Like
Yeah.
I like the detox, and so I do like a 3-day detox. Where I just eat fruit and drink water,
Okay.
and like I said, and I take some type of herb that flush everything out,
Okay.
and then that's really what.
No, that's legit. That's legit.
Smoothies, fruit, and that's it.
That's a good way to do it. That's definitely a good way to do it. I do it. My eating habits pretty what society would say good. But I still do that as well, just to kind of reset, because it's which you can attest to it since you do it a lot. It's more than just the body. It's the mind. Your mind gets clear, your body gets clear, your heart get clear. So a lot of different things happen for you in terms of fasting. And whatever type of fasting you do, and it creates discipline, because a lot of people, I don't use the word can't, but a lot of people use the word can't, and it's like when you use that word so much, it becomes a habit, and it's hard to break. And that kind of teaches you that discipline too. That like, damn, I ain't think I could do this, but I can.
It's great you said it, because growing up, I lived in my apartments, Adamville, and the neighbor, I would say, man, I can't. She'd be like, don't let me ever hear you say can't, man. Mr. Can't died a long time ago. Say that again. Say it again. I always be scared to say can't.
Yeah.
Ever since then, so I don't say can't.
That's a good fear.
Yeah,
that's a good fear. And to just speak to that very quickly, fear for me, in my own personal opinion, it's something that a lot of people deal with. And so when a lot of people deal with fear, they let it stop them. And the thing I can tell people is, a lot of the people that you look up to or don't look up to, or that you see doing things like podcasts, being on TV, being on stages, a lot of those people have fear. They just don't let it control them. They get off stage and they might have to take a drink. They might have to take a smoke. They might have to meditate either before or after. And it's like, don't let fear stop you, because it will.
Yeah.
Like I've let it stop me for a long time, and I'm like, damn. And like even when people write me, they're like, man, like you look so comfortable, you look so this and that, and I'm like, I have whatever you said you had as far as being scared, being fearful, camera shy, all of those things, being an introvert. I'm like, those things are true for me too. I just don't let it control me. And that's how I made it again.
And the reason
you
I
control
started
you.
gardening is,
so if you allow those emotional feelings or whatever it is control you, like fear, it will control you. So just don't let that fear control you. Do whatever it is you want to do. And me having children, I realize adults don't take the advice we give the children. Right. We tell the children, you could do whatever you want to do, and then we go say can't.
Yeah.
Or trying.
Yeah. Like we tell them the herbs, so mint, basil, rosemary, strawberries. I have not had success with watermelon. My watermelon, I got it. I've been 2 years of watermelon. Still, I got a little baby one. But that's it. Tomatoes, cucumbers. That's about it. But make sure y'all just, like I said, follow my gardening page at Gardening with Peace.
Okay.
So
all right.
Anything that's discouraging times. Oh, you got
the controversy.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
This provides a new life for you. When I'm on day 60 tomorrow, and guess what, y'all? Guess what? The local newspaper is coming to my house and doing a story on me. Hey, the local reporter hit me up. She was like, Bobby, this movement crazy. She was like, I gotta come do a story on you, family. So she coming to the house tomorrow to do a story from Toledo Blade, the #1 news source in Toledo, family. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. We in that deep water. Hey, I fucks with that. I appreciate you. It's going down, family. It's going down. And guess what? They coming on day 60. This divine shit. You cannot stop this.
This shit right here, nigga. Hey, the white part of the rind, this part of the watermelon right here. So, look, sit here, you're supposed to eat the watermelon. This part right there. Do you know what that is? know what that is? That is natural Viagra. What'd you think about that? This white part of this right here, you eat that? For all my fellas. For all my fellas who get a little tired. For all the homies. For all the homies who can't. You feel me? Get you some of this, family. Get you some of this.
Go get you some of these. Your ass about to die. This nigga done turned into Lil Duval eating straight watermelon for 55 damn days straight, man. Listen, when you start losing neck meat, that's a problem. You're gonna need you some proteins, brother. Your pancreas ain't right. Your liver is crying out, man. Go and eat you something, bro. Go and get you something. Go eat a sandwich or something, man. Call me, bro.
I'm damn near in between telling his ass congrats for sticking to his diet. Go get looked at. I'm worried about you. He gotta be smoking these watermelons at this point. This man's skin is falling off the bone. Arms look like he about 80 years old. Too loose. Too loose. I ain't gonna even lie. He might need to ease up and eat some protein. But something don't look right about him, honestly. Age 60, he ain't gonna be able to lift the watermelon. I recommend you go ahead and eat, buddy. Starting to remind me of that movie 50 Cent was in, where he had cancer. And I wouldn't wish that on nobody, for real. I'm off about his eyes, though. Eyes really not giving diet. It's giving bad habit. Maybe you need to try frying some watermelon and maybe adding different fruit with it. Because he ain't got nothing else to lose left but his life. Even when it's good for you, too much of it could be bad.
This provides a new.
He got to be from LA too, because when he talk, he got to be from LA.
Yeah, definitely, man. That clip was about a brother who went 55 days to 60 days just by eating with eating watermelon, and that's how he looks. We had a guest here early. Well, no, one of our past episodes, right, with a brother named Amistad, who was talking about just eating fruits and veggies. Now, he's a good spokesperson for that. This brother here looks like Skeletor from He-Man. I don't think he's selling the watermelon no justice.
I think Amistad is he's over 50, I think, too, right? How old? He's pretty old.
Oh.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Y'all talking about the swole? No, y'all talking
about Amistad's like 52, 53 years old.
Yes. And basically what I'm saying is, with this whole health approach, you need the people that, just to call it what it is, you need the people that look good to get people to want to go to that lifestyle. The brother we just shown don't look like he's healthy. I'm just saying, and I don't think that's because he's just been eating watermelon. He probably got some other health things going on, man, because it ain't no way no watermelon does that to somebody.
Because in the internet, you never know.
Yeah.
That's my whole angle too, is to exactly what you said. Use my physique to show people that, because that's typically the thing too. Like I said, number one question is where I get my protein at. But typically when people find out that I have a plant-based eating habit, they like, nah, bro. Like you too. I'm not swole, but they're like, you got too much muscle to just be only eating plants, and that's kind of my way to educate them, and then also share some of the instances and the workouts and my recipe books and things like that to kind of share with them. Like, nah, you can do the same thing. You still got to figure out what works for your body, but for the most part, here's a blueprint for me and what works and my trial and tribulation. But no, you definitely want to have somebody that looks good. You want to have somebody that look good to kind of share and tell you what's going on, and obviously show you because all it is the maximum of what you can reach is what you're showing them. This is the maximum of what you can reach. You can look like this. You may not. You got to put in the work, but this is what you can look like at the highest level if you do, follow, whatever it is.
Exactly, man. Huey, what movie what role would you play Peace in, man? What role can you envision in?
Slavery. Just buying cigars.
I would give him like I don't know if he's smoking that, but he giving me like a Snoop Dogg roll. You know what I'm saying? Like just like on the movie Snoop being getting high.
Yeah.
That's what I would. You know what I'm saying?
Make sure y'all put me in whatever Friday y'all about to do.
But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I know Ice Cube in production.
Oh, he is?
Nah, he not.
Oh, I got heavy, man.
They I forgot what he said on his last interview. Like they want too much control, is what he said. Like they won't let him control everything, even though he's shown and proved like I got this.
Yeah,
they want a lot of control because I think they bought it, so like they own I think all of it. So like, yeah, because he said he's wrote it like 4 times. Because like he's written it when it was supposed to be done, and like he's had to rewrite it over and over again to fit the times. So I think he said like pretty much like he's not gonna rewrite it again. So if they want to do it, it's gonna probably be a little outdated because he's not gonna write it to like fit like whatever's going on in real time.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yo, man. Peace, man. You know, with all the great things that you're doing, man, teaching people how to garden, man, growing your own food for you and your family is very motivational, man. Where do you see yourself going forward, brother?
So where I see myself, I already got it planned and mapped out. So the next thing is to get my personal training certification, which a lot of times you don't need it, but you do want to show people paperwork for people who need the paperwork. You know, some people want to see the paperwork like, oh, you're a personal trainer. I need to see your credentials. So personal training is on the list. Life coaching is on the list to get a certification for that. Both, again, you know, whether you need it or you don't, I want to have those credentials to be able to show people. The next thing is to learn how to, I guess, consultation for gardening, because people always ask like, hey man, can you come and get me set up and then show me what to do after that? So like that's the next part, is learning how to go through the business aspect of doing consulting work for the gardening, to come and see people's spaces, show them what they can do, you know, draw it all out, let them know, you know, what gardening beds, teaching them the soil, basically I guess you could say like a curriculum, where I'm teaching people how to start their own garden. Because some people don't want to get the book. Some people don't want to read. Some people want a hands-on approach. Some people want videos to check out. So that's next on the list in terms of that. And then as far as the Black History's Everywhere brand, we're coming out with, I actually got on some of it today, but we're coming out with a sweatsuit as well, that correlates with the brand. It's a shift in the brand because it doesn't, this is of course primarily only catered to us. You know, you're not gonna see probably anybody else wearing a Black and Proud shirt besides us. So just kind of switching the brand up so it's a little more widespread in terms of demographics. And if I spoke about it, I got a children's book right now, Naila Loves to Learn. Essentially what it does is it teaches people who have children or who want to have children that you don't have to wait to start teaching your children whatever it is you want them to learn.
Of course.
We hear people talk about when the baby's in the stomach, what you can do. Put the music, play, whatever kind of music, play ABCs or whatever, and the babies get to the real world and we stop teaching them. And so like this just speaks to us being able to teach the children whatever we want them to learn at whatever age. So like for me, we teach our daughter everything. I was just telling my brother, I just show her how to fix a phone. The next thing is to show her how to fix a computer. We've already started her with coding. And a lot of the times, even when you buy a toy, the toy might say 3 years old, 12 months or whatever. And you might buy some learning material that say, oh, teach them this one or whatever. And the same thing with the schooling system. You got to wait a whole entire year to learn what you're going to learn in the next grade. I'm like, damn, I could be, my child could be learning that in the summer or the spring or whatever. So like this book just kind of speaks to being able to teach your children like whatever it is, and even got some gardening information in there. And so that's going to transition into my next book, which is going to be teaching parents and children how to garden, so they both will be learning while reading the book, and just kind of outlining the basics of what it takes to start and have a garden. So like that'll be my next book. I want to say that's a little bit of what I got planned and mapped out. And then even on the financial side is I've been teaching myself a lot more about the financial side. So learning more about IRA Roths, learning more about custodial accounts. So, children can be set up to where they can have, the buzzword generational wealth, and just learning and growing in that aspect. So, one of the books I want to shout out is Money, Wealth, and Insurance, and What Would the Rockefellers Do? Those are two important books that just kind of speak to family banking, high yield savings accounts, IRA Roth accounts, and custodial accounts to make sure that your children can be successful or just have financial money where they could do whatever they want to do and know that, okay, regardless of whatever I do, I still have either a financial backing or I have money in the bank already. So like, that's not a stressor of mine to like, damn, I have to succeed at this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that can cause so much stress to where you might say, fuck it, and then get a job. You know what I'm saying? In terms, or like, oh no, I did that. It didn't really work out. Okay, now I could do this because I always got the financial part of me. Like I'm good as far as terms of financial wise. Even if I don't have to use it, it's just a different mindset to know like, okay, I got bread. So like, it's not a, you still have that same hunger, but it's not like, I don't really know the way to describe it. It just, I remember how my mindset was like when I just knew I got to do this, even if I do or I don't. I guess that's probably it. Like I have to do this, whether I want to do it or I don't want to do it. I have to do this in order to succeed or whatever. But that's all I got going on right now, man, and what I got planned for the future.
Said, please design a hat for sister, a gardening hat for sister with locks.
Okay, I like that.
Glow, Glow.
Send me that to my Instagram page at Gardening with Peace so I can remember that.
Yeah, shout out everybody who tapping in today, man. It's been jumping today. Truth, TC Clark, Son, James, some more people. Everybody tapping in. Appreciate y'all, man.
No, I definitely appreciate everybody tapping in and going on this learning journey. And if anybody got some information to share with me, please share it because I'm on this learning journey and I love to just learn and grow and apply whatever information I am. Because just because I spoke about like the cold turkey thing, I'm able to learn some information. If I'm able to, I go and look for opposing arguments to make sure that I'm, learning, some good information. I go and find out like what are the people saying who don't agree with this, and then I kind of make my own, astute observation from it, and kind of go from there. But I learn, I grow, I apply, and then I keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So anybody got information, reach out. Where y'all can find me again is at Gardening with Peace. It's all spelled with the regular words. At Peace Hakuna. That's at PeaceHakuna. The website is blackhistorieseverywhere.com. Make sure y'all check me out there. And if you click the link in the bio, you'll be able to find all of the ebooks that I have. I actually got some hard copy printed books as well if you want to get the hard copy. I know some people like to have the hard copy so they can kind of read it anywhere and have it hard copy. And if you get the hard copy, of course, I'm going to send you over the ebook as well so you'll be able to have both.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Hey, gardening with peace, man. So as we conclude today's episode of Motivational Shit podcast, man, shouts out to Mr. James, to all my fellow light workers. Step outside and feel this 5D energy. Great your Megatron Q energy grid and absorb this solar energy and watch this podcast. This is for all my light workers. Hey, I appreciate you, James, man. Hey, sure. Let's get it. Let's get it. I appreciate it, James.
One more thing, because I appreciate the brother Rasan James. I do have some free information that I want to give to the viewers. Anybody who wants the free information, just send me a message on Instagram. That's at Gardening with Peace. And I'm going to send you over 2 PDF information of just quick 10 easy steps on how to garden and the benefits of gardening. Just make sure to send me a message on Instagram. That's at Gardening with Peace. And I got some free information for you.
Hey, man, make sure y'all send that tap in with this, man. This brother gives some good advice for gardening, man. So let me conclude this with a quick little motivational speech, man.
Go ahead, brother.
Peace. Your purpose, your role is truly gardening. Because with everything that you do, with everything that we do, everything that we touch, we drop a seed. And the more energy, the more attention that you pay to that grows, sprouting like a watermelon. sprouting like a cucumber, growing full of juices and vitamins like a tomato. Peace, you are truly a gardener for everything that you're involved with. You started off when it was a seedling, and you have grown it as tall as a giant sunflower. That's the motivation. That's the power that you have. And for everyone else, find what talents that you have and touch it and plant a seed and continue to give it water. Continue to give it light and give it love. And watch, you will grow on your own sunflower seed. Hey, let's get it.
Let's
That's
get
really
it.